fellow. My name is Frank, and this is Really Frank News. Let's get to it.
Okay, but let me begin. Senator Dianne Feinstein. Dear Senator Feinstein, I am writing with information relevant in evaluating the current nominee to the Supreme Court. As a constituent, I expect that you will maintain this as confidential until we have further opportunity to speak. Brett Kavanaugh physically and sexually assaulted me during high school in the early 1980s. He conducted these acts with the assistance of Redacted. Both were 1 or 2 years older than me and students at a local private school. The assault occurred in a suburban Maryland area home at a gathering that included me and 4 others. Kavanaugh physically pushed me into a bedroom as I was headed for a bathroom up a short stairwell from the living room. They locked the door and played loud music, precluding any successful attempt to yell for help. Kavanaugh was on top of me while laughing with Redacted, who periodically jumped onto Kavanaugh. They both laughed as Kavanaugh tried to disrobe me. In their highly inebriated state, with Kavanaugh's hand over my mouth, I feared he may inadvertently kill me. From across the room, a very drunken Redacted said mixed words to Kavanaugh, ranging from "go for it" to "stop." At one point, when Redacted jumped onto the bed, the weight on me was substantial. The pile toppled, and the two scrapped with each other. After a few attempts to get away, I was able to take this opportune moment to get up and run across to a hallway bathroom. I locked the bathroom door behind me. Both loudly stumbled down the stairwell, at which point other persons at the house were talking with them. I exited the bathroom, ran outside of the house, and went home. I have not knowingly seen Kavanaugh since the assault. I did see Redacted once at the Redacted, where he was extremely uncomfortable seeing me. I have received medical treatment regarding the assault. On July 6th, I notified my local government representative to ask them how to proceed with sharing this information. It is upsetting to discuss sexual assault and its repercussions, yet I felt guilty and compelled as a citizen about the idea of not saying anything. I am available to speak further should you wish to discuss. I am currently Redacted and will be in Redacted. In confidence, Redacted.
Now we know this is coming from a Democrat California professor, whose name is Christine Ford. She says this incident happened 36 years ago, when she and Kavanaugh were in high school. At that time she was 16 and Kavanaugh was 17 years old. As usual, there are some strange things associated with this accusation. This letter was sent to Dianne Feinstein on July 6, 2018. 2 months before the Kavanaugh Supreme Court hearings even began. As you know, not one word of this was mentioned during the hearings. Also, Feinstein said she gave the letter to the FBI, who declined to investigate the matter. This is even stranger, since Peter Strzok, the FBI senior counterintelligence agent, was not fired from his post until a month later. I'm sure that Peter just didn't want to embarrass the president, or Kavanaugh at that time. We also know now that Christine's parents lost their home in a foreclosure case in 1996, and by coincidence, of course, the case was handled by Brett Kavanaugh's mother, who is also a judge. No animosity here, I'm sure. And then there is this.
Got her from her therapist and gave to her lawyer, who then showed them to me. So the 2012 is the first time Christine Ford says that she told this story in any detail, and she did that during couples therapy with her husband. Her husband very clearly recalls this conversation. He recalls his wife using Kavanaugh's name and even voicing some concern that he might someday rise to the Supreme Court. His name does not appear in the records, so let's be clear about that. But the records do reference an attack by boys from an elitist private, boys' school, and who went on to become high-ranking members of society in Washington.
All right.
So the record only mentions 4 boys, but Christine's husband remembers Kavanaugh's name, and that he could someday be on the Supreme Court. So, hey honey, let's hang on to this information for 6 years, and bring it up if he is ever appointed to that position. Well, let's do some breaking bombshell news straight from the White House. at the request of a number of committees of Congress, and for reasons of transparency, the President has directed the Office of the Director of National Intelligence and the Department of Justice, including the FBI, to provide for the immediate declassification of the following materials. 1. Pages 10 to 12 and 17 to 34 of the June 2017 application to the FISA court in the matter of Carter W. Page. 2. All FBI reports of interviews with Bruce G. Orr, prepared in connection with the Russia investigation. And 3. All FBI reports of interviews prepared in connection with all Carter Page FISA applications. In addition, President Donald J. Trump has directed the Department of Justice, including the FBI, to publicly release all text messages relating to the Russia investigation, without redaction, of James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, and Bruce Orr. That ought to heat the pot up nicely.